that jazz. We're on the road to 2K. Yeah, 2K. We're on the road to 2K because we just hit 1K not too long ago. So go ahead and join by clicking that red subscribe button. Maybe a lot going on over here. Okay, so I wanted to dive in and do a video about how to care for your sister locks, whether you're a beginner or been in the game for a minute. This video should be helpful to both parties. One part I want to start with is washing your sister locks. I do think there's a difference in how you care for them in the beginning and now, so we'll go over that. But number one is washing your sister locks. You need to wash them whenever your sister lock consultant does tell you, like, okay, hey, you know, after this time frame, go ahead and wash them because you don't want any slippage, you don't want any unlocking what they started. It's possible though, especially like near your edges, depending on the texture of your hair, the type of hair you have. But you always want to use a clarifying shampoo. If you use a different kind of shampoo, I'd like to know, comment that below. But to my knowledge, a clarifying shampoo, since I've had them for 3 years, I've only ever used Suave. I do want to try other clarifying shampoos just to dibble and dabble and see, but I haven't ventured off into that. There are some videos that exist, so I would check those out if you're interested in a different kind of shampoo, or the starter sister lock shampoo. You can definitely use that one. And so in the beginning, if you're washing your hair, you do want to bundle it and make sure you're not just washing it all out, because like I said, you don't want the locks to not be locked anymore. I had so many dreams in the beginning, y'all, that I woke up and all my hair was no longer locked. I had like 3 or 4 dreams because that was my biggest concern / fear, like that I would just wake up and my hair would just be back natural and I would have to start all over after being like 6 months locked. I don't know why, that was just the craziest reoccurring dream that I kept having. So anyway, the point is, I would be like, let me make sure I'm braiding this up tonight. So I will always make sure that I don't do this anymore, but in the beginning, the braid and band method, to make sure that nothing was coming out, we getting into the scalp, you know. I was just like, I don't want to start over. That was my biggest thing. Like, I do not want to start over, right? I would say wash, you know, braid and band. I think if your hair is shorter, the shorter your hair is when you start off, mine was about 6 inches, the more sections that you should have, just to be safe. I wouldn't be like, oh, let me do this whole like 1 2 3 4. No ma'am, just do as many sections as you can. Not super tiny, like you don't want 2 locks per section, not like that, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. And when you first have them, you want to apply the sister lock shampoo, Suave, whatever you decide to use, directly to your scalp, because that's what our main concern is. You don't want to be, if your ends are still loose and not locked, you do not want to be just washing those nilly-willy, because you want them to stay tight. As I said, finish washing your hair, you do want to use like I use a shirt, like a t-shirt, to be honest with y'all, but that is now. I would let it dry a little bit before I took my locks out of the braid and band situation, because usually it'd be at night, so I'm not out here everybody not finna see me looking wild. And after you wash your sister locks, then you can, depending on the stage you're in, like I said, it varies the stage that you're in. But in the beginning, that's all I did was just shampoo. And then because my scalp was itchy, I would do tea tree oil with some water the next day. So I would wash it, let it dry, and then do tea tree oil to my scalp. And then I moved on to using rosemary oil to my scalp. But yeah, in the beginning, that was it. After that, you want to wrap your sister locks. I always try to use a satin. I have one bonnet that's just like, you know, like the regular bonnet, but then like 80% of the time will use my bonnet or whatever you want to cap with satin in it. I don't have satin pillows, but if you want to go ahead and be that deep, you should be that deep. Especially for like those nights where you like, I'm so tired, I can't even throw the scarf on. I'm just gonna like plop on the bed, plop on the couch. Then using that satin pillow, at least you had that. For me, I have not used any drying tools for my sister locks, but I know that I would more so try that now than I did in the beginning. The thing about maintaining your sister locks, it's important to go to your retightening sessions every single time that they are made, because number one, it costs more the longer you wait, and number two, it will just look so much better over time. You're keeping them neat, you're maintaining the hairstyle as it should be. Less time, because you're like a regular hairstyle might last 2 weeks and then you gotta go again. Every 4 to 6 weeks or 4 to 8 weeks, depending on the type of hair you have, is just to me is a good stretch, because You go for 2.5 hours, 2 to 3 hours, depending on how long your hair is, you know, and then you're done for another 4 to 8 weeks. Like, that's really not terrible time. Just make sure, you know, you got it on your calendar, you got the funds for it, because it can be a little costly depending on the state that you're located in. For me, there's 3 main things that go to it. You have to wash your hair. Personally, see about conditioning it way like down the line. Definitely don't do that in the beginning, but you wash your hair, make sure you're using like a satin bonnet, make sure you're using, you know, a little bit of oil and spray to like liven her up, especially in the beginning, because it'd be looking like sticks and you like, let me, you know, do a little spray. The reason I are using a satin bonnet is because like your locks will eventually attract lint, and the more that you're like, oh, I think I could just lay anywhere or put anything on or put a sweater on, like your hair is going to be like, yeah. And that's why you have lint all in your hair. And I feel like the longer you have your locks, the more you can experiment with different shampoos, the more you can experiment with you can start off with different styles. I didn't really do that many, but the more you can try and dibble and dabble a little different things like color, shampoos, maybe a conditioner. I've seen I know some people use leave-in conditioner, just experimenting a little bit more. But in the beginning, I would wholeheartedly play it safe. I wouldn't do nothing but wake up and go. But that's what I do now. But if you're the type of person that's like, I just want to switch it up a little bit, it's been 5 years, it's been 6 years, let me see what I can do different, you know, at that time frame, as long as you're consulting with your lock consultant, then hey, you know, by all means, do you. And I think for the most part, those are the main tips for maintaining your sister locks. If you haven't gotten sister locks and you're watching this video, just consider everything that comes with it. Just know that you don't believe it. You can style your hair differently. You can. Just make sure that you're seeking professional advice. I wouldn't recommend installing sister locks on your own unless you're a whole, like, you certified, you know what you're doing, and you got this. I'll always recommend going to an actual optician. Embrace it. Embrace the journey, because I always tell everybody, like, I'm not out here all the way down to my back. But I did start out with up here to the neck, you know, and it was just not the cutest stage. But here I am where I'm like, okay, I could do this. I like this. And you can have bad days with sister locks. I do want to throw that out there. You can. Some days it's like, oh, and then some other days it's like, yeah, let's just throw it up in a ponytail because I'm not feeling that. And I think it also depends on, like, did you recently get it retightened? Has it been some time? Is it about that time to get retightened? So for me, I will my appointment until my retightening again. The most that I do is on my scalp, spray with water, and make sure I'm washing my hair, especially with this summer. It's hot, we sweating. We've been 100 degrees. We've been about 95 to 100 degrees every day out here in Georgia. So I've been having to wash my hair a lot more often than I typically do. And outside of that, I really haven't switched up much since I've got my locks, to be honest, except for the braid and band and maybe the type of oils that I've used and tried. But other than that, it's pretty much the same. And that's what makes it like such a simple thing. Like, I'm such a simple person. I don't like complexity. I don't want anything that's too hard that took me 5 hours. I'll do like a twist style if my style, you already know, if I'm doing a style, that's because it's a quick style. I'm not out here like 7 hours to get this style done. No, not me, not I. But anyway, I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure you comment below. Add something different that you do to care for your sister locks or maintain your sister locks, whether you're in the beginning stages or your locks are very mature. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.